is Anthony Richardson, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
This is AJ Brown, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
This is Josh Allen, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
RosterWatch Nation, what is up? Welcome back to the Underdog Pick'em Show, brought to you by RosterWatch, or the RosterWatch Pick'em Show brought to you by Underdog. Whichever way you want to look at it, that's what it is. It's Monday Night Football tonight with the Kansas City Chiefs and the beloved Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Whichever side you're on, have fun. It's going to be a good game tonight. A lot of fantasy implications going into Monday Night Football. I know for one, I think I have Kareem Hunt in a game. I need like 13 points. Another game I'm playing against Patrick Mahomes. I think I need him to score less than like 16 maybe. And then another game that I feel like is probably, well, no, that one's locked up for sure. I'm up like 32 and I have Kelsey tonight against his Hunt. So we're in a good spot with Kareem, with Hunt, with Mahomes, and I'll start it off tonight with some picks. This weekend, the picks at RosterWatch were not excellent. They were not as great as they were the week before in week, what are we in now? Week 9, week 8. They weren't as great as they were in week 8 when we were 14-3. This weekend, we went 6-7. We did have a reboot with the A.J. Brown injury that happened in the second quarter. I don't really exactly know what came through with that. I think it was a tweak, I think came out today, and they said, but that one felt like it was coming too. And there's a couple of other selections that definitely felt as if they were on the way to joining Team RosterWatch in the W column this weekend, including Sunday Night Football. We did the TJ Hawkinson loss, which ended up with 3 receptions, but we saw guys like Johnny Munt and Josh Oliver have like borderline career games. Josh Oliver, I think, had 5 receptions, had a touchdown. It was Hawkinson's first game back, and I thought for sure he was going to be the one in that role. Just so happens that the Vikings love using 3 tight ends, sometimes all at once. So we took the L on that. Javonte Williams, we got the dub on that one. That one actually felt maybe the least favorite of the group. We had Malik Neighbors go for 59. His number was 67.5. And then Jonathan Taylor, who had like 6 carries, it felt like in the first 6 plays, ended up with 13 carries, which obviously did not crest his 18.5. And the one that we got completely cucked on the most this weekend was Tua Tagovailoa, the one that Alex wanted to pull off the sheet, but because Trashman's been so hot this year, Alex didn't pull off the sheet. Tua hits this number, 248 passing yards. Plenty to go, right? I think he's up to 255, and then Buffalo goes down, gets the field goal. Miami gets the ball back, 2 plays. He's sitting at 255. He throws that pass to Jalen Waddle, and Waddle runs the football backwards 23 yards. You can't make this shit up. Backwards 23 yards, which ended up costing us the Tua Tagovailoa number, which is 248.5. That is the sport. That is what we're doing. That's what we do. It's the price you pay. Tua 248. We had him at 255, all but locked, and Jalen Waddle decided I'm going to run backwards. So that was one we had to live through. Inactives just came out. We'll read them off to you as they come out. This is for Monday Night Football, Tampa versus the Chiefs. Mike Evans officially out, inactive. Jalen McMillan officially out and inactive. And Devin Culp, the rookie third-string tight end, is officially inactive in this one for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't see Kansas City coming through quite yet. I'm assuming it's going to be, 2 seconds behind here, but we'll see what happens. With that, the picks for tonight, they're pretty straightforward. I love them. The one I'm a little interested on. So let's start off first and foremost with the spread in this one. Tampa Bay's 8.5-point dogs. We did take this in the Circa Millions this weekend. That show happens on Wednesday nights about 8 p.m. Eastern time. Myself, Alex, and Can't Miss Mitch. We took Tampa Bay plus 8.5 this weekend, or tonight, I should say. The total in this game is set at 45.5. I believe this is going to be a fine game. I don't think we're going to see a blowout by any means. We haven't seen Kansas City score 28 points all year, or more than that. So Tampa Bay, we'll see if they can push Kansas City through the way. All right, get to the picks. Cody. Shut up. Quit talking. Get to the picks. Here they are. First and foremost, There's no real trend line with this one, but I just love it. I love DeAndre Hopkins tonight. He's got a couple weeks now in the system, and I think DeAndre Hopkins he's gotten plenty of time to get connection with Patrick Mahomes. His last few games, obviously 2 receptions against Las Vegas, 1 against Buffalo, 4 against the Colts. Before that, obviously 2 and 6 when he was with the Tennessee Titans. This game tonight, Monday Night Football. Tampa Bay's sporting some JV cornerbacks out there. We like this number at 3.5 at Underdog Fantasy. Go to underdogfantasy.com. You can see it on the screen right there. Use the promo code ROSTER. Get a deposit bonus, 50% deposit bonus up to $250. Matt Cassidy says he loves Worthy tonight. Shout out to you guys in the chat. John in Cedar Park loves Tampa on the money line. That's ballsy. I like it, though. I'm not going to say I hate it. Mojo says I need 25 points to win my game. I have Hunt and Kelsey in that game. Think I have a chance of getting combined 25 points from Hunt and Kelsey. In PPR, I do. I like that. In PPR, I like your chances. John C. Parks is 0 in passing yards for his neighbors in the first half. Didn't help. Yeah, that was the thing. But like I looked up and it was like 11 targets, 59 yards. I was like, man, what are we doing here? And game ended up still being tight, but Love didn't practice all week. That's not our fault. Process was correct, Matt Cassidy. All right, we got some inactives for the Chiefs. Juju, the only one really of consequence on here. That's all that really matters, I guess. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, expected that, as we always have. Mike Dana, the defensive tackle. Ethan Driscoll, C.J. Henson, a bunch of expected offensive linemen, defensive linemen guys. Not much there. So DeAndre Hopkins is pick number 1 tonight. Not my favorite play, but I do love it. It's one of our 3 selections tonight. The other 2, this one I absolutely love. Cade Otton. Cade Otton tonight is sitting at, he just came off of a 10-target game. We've seen what this guy can continually. He's the number 1 in this offense. And the number hasn't moved since Jalen McMillan has officially been inactive for this game. Right? McMillan got injured this week. Otton was the supreme talent last week in this passing game. He ended up with 9 receptions. He had 8 the week before that, 2, 3, and 6. Those 2, 3, and 6 came with Evans and Godwin. Now he's at 8 and 9 without. This number's at 5. I understand Kansas City plays against Kelsey every day in practice, but I don't care. The number's 5 for Cade Otton. You can sign me all the way up on Cade Otton for 5 receptions. It looks like the number's been pulled from Underdog. So for the time being, the things you can get on Otton are 10.5 receiving yards, touchdowns, fantasy points, 11.15 fantasy points as half-point PPR in that setting. Half-point PPR, let's see if, let's say, 6 receptions is 3 points, 60 yards. What's that, 9? So technically he's probably going to have to score. He's going to have to go like 7 for 75, I think is the number I'm thinking of right there. 7 for 75, 7 for 85. I don't love the fantasy points as much as I like the receptions. First half receiving yards, 27.5. I think that's interesting. But again, I'm gonna input my number tonight for 5 receptions. This is what I got. John Cedar Park says CC's 4.5. So maybe I'm just getting blocked out here in South Carolina from taking any more Otton. I got him once already at 5. So if you got him at 4.5, take it, Matt. That's 100%er. Love that. All right, there's the second pick for the night. And then the third and final pick. This is just a feel one. I don't quite understand this. Like Bucky Irving's been banged up, right? His toe, he's had a toe injury the last few weeks in practice. So you can look at rushing totals for tonight. See if I can exit this out right here. Rushing totals for tonight. We have Bucky Irving. I think the number was higher than Rachaad White's was. Bucky's is at 33.5. Rachaad White's number, I got it. I just got to double check this because I'll tell you what I got it at. And I want to make sure it's still the same number. I got it at 29.5. It's not even available on my Underdog right now. 3.5 receptions, 8.5 rush attempts. I got him at 29.5 rushing yards for Rachaad White. And I'm trying to figure out where that went. Did they take that one down here too? Golly, they did. 29.5 rushing yards and 27.5 receiving yards. He had 29 exactly rushing yards last week against Atlanta. It was a better run defense. Baltimore, he had 40 rushing yards, which is the best run defense. Atlanta the week before that, he had 72, which again is a respectable run defense. And then Philly the week before that, 49 rushing yards. He's went over this number 3 of the last 4, and the one he didn't, which is the most recent, he had 29, which is a half yard under. I don't know. John says he gets at 26.5. Again, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand why it's so low. I feel like I missed something, but I don't think I did. I understand he hasn't been fantastic this year, but I think Rachaad White still owns this backfield. And for the rushing number for Bucky to be significantly higher, and I don't even see a Sean Tucker number out here, 6.5 rushing. What are we doing here? But like Sean Tucker can do that, and that's also an interesting. I'm not gonna take it, but if he gets 1 carry, Sean Tucker can do that. That's interesting. 6.5 rushing yards for Sean Tucker. I don't quite have the stones to do that, but interesting nonetheless. All right, those are my 3. 29.5 rushing yards higher for Rachaad White. 4 receptions, which I've heard we got at 3.5 now for DeAndre Hopkins higher. And then Cade Otton, who I've got multiple people in the chat saying it moved 4.5. And now John says it's back. It's up to 5.5 now. So of course I love the 4.5. I love the 5, but 5.5 is what it is. I mean, to beat 5, you have to get to 6 anyway. So I'm taking it regardless. There it is. Rachaad White, 29.5 rushing yards. DeAndre Hopkins, 4 receptions. Cade Otton, 5 receptions. And Matt Cassidy has a prediction tonight. Worthy, 5 for 70 and a tug. I'm kind of in the boat of wishing Worthy, like, it was nice to see JSN's breakout yesterday a little bit, I would say. I would love to see Worthy have a breakout, somewhere in that ballpark. 40 receiving yards is his number tonight. 46.5 rush plus receiving. Does he have a rushing number out here? Half yard rushing. Interesting for Xavier Worthy, who has beaten that 3 of the last 5 games. When he gets a carry, he breaks it. Just depends if they're going to put him in motion, and which they do every game, but if they're going to hand it off to him in that motion. That's an interesting one as well. Maybe you do a Hail Mary play with Xavier Worthy, half rushing yard, and Sean Tucker, 6.5. Literally, just each guy needs one opportunity, and you could potentially smack them both. Matt Cassidy says, super chat bet. Did I miss something? Super chat bet. I don't know what that means. I don't quite get it. Matt, I like it though. I like the number. Half rushing yard for Xavier Worthy. Sorry. All right, boys and girls. I got to jump into another show, so I got to jump on out of here. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We'll be back tomorrow, 2 o'clock or 2:30, unless Trashman says earlier. Then I guess we'll go earlier for the Waiver Wire show. Tune in, tap in. It's week 10. It's time to get those dubs. It's time to win that money. Instead of have a good Monday Night Football. Kansas City Chiefs, Tampa Bay Bucks. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow night.